temporary stadium for the Crusaders, and Trevor Mallard said no. Trevor Mallard said no to the home of the Crusaders and the place where the Test match... Oh, well, he wants a decent one. He said no. So next year, in March, when the Crusaders run out and play their games in front of the Canterbury crowds, Trevor Mallard said no. Well, our government said yes, Mr Speaker. There will be a huge amount of work in terms of the training, and this government has committed tens of millions of dollars to training places, to making sure that we bring in the right skills, that we give young New Zealanders the opportunities, that we encourage people to take up those opportunities so they can be part of the Christchurch rebuild. We will, where we're required, use immigration to fill the gaps, but we hope that that will be more sparingly because we hope that we can get out there and continue to train New Zealanders. Next year, Mr Speaker, the government will embark on the mixed ownership model, and we'll start with Mighty River. We'll start with Mighty River. See, Mr Speaker, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? The entire Labor campaign was to not sell assets, and they went well below 51%, what we want to keep as a result of that campaign. They were nearly half of 51%. What the New Zealand public said is, we want you to keep 51%, but we want you to put that money in a fund, and we want you to get out there and invest. Well, they did. Through their actions, they did. And this is what I say to New Zealanders. We can go out there and will go out there and invest in the Future Fund. We are going to put $1 billion into next generation schools. We are going to put more money into science and technology. We may well put a considerable amount more money in health. We are going to put more money into a number of other areas like irrigation. What we are going to do is grow the balance sheet of New Zealand. And the second thing I say to New Zealanders is we are going to give you an opportunity to invest in a decent product and a decent share so that your only investment opportunities are not failed finance companies. And lastly, I say this, those companies will perform better. They will have better guidance, better overall view of their overall assets. Companies like Mighty River will expand globally. They have that world-class innovation and technology that David Shearer was theoretically thinking about. Let's let them go and take that to the world. And we know this is a good model because not one political party, and Phil Goff never answered it, and David Cunliffe never answered it in the entire campaign trail, why was no political party out there saying that they were going to buy back the bit of Air New Zealand that we didn't own? Because the model worked. The model worked. So, Mr Speaker, we will be pursuing our agenda of the mixed ownership model, but we will be, with the help of United and others, legislating for 51% as an absolute minimum that the Crown will own, and we will be legislating for a 10% cap. Mr Speaker, in the areas of education, there's a big difference between us and Labor. We do stuff, and Labor just lets the problems pile up. You see, if you can't read and write or do maths, you actually can't carry out a job in the smart economy that David Shearer wants. And yet that government sat back for 9 years and didn't care about the 20% of New Zealanders who left school hopelessly ill-equipped. Well, the Minister of Education will be following national standards, and I hope Mr Shearer will take a moment as the new leader supporting change and say to those teacher unions, actually, what's more important is the kids than the unions. That's change they can write about. If you want to go out there and get change they can write about, go out there and support national standards. Go out there and tell the parents of New Zealand you care about how those kids are performing, you care about how those schools are performing, you care about whether you know whether the kids are succeeding or not, and you'll do something about it. If you believe in change, and if you believe in things that you're going to support, you'll be out there doing that. Mr Speaker, it's not just national standards, it's young kids who are going to early childhood education facilities. We are committed by 2015 to see 98% of young New Zealanders in that position. Mr Speaker, we will be rolling out a charter school or schools, and they will succeed. And they will provide opportunities, and again, they will provide opportunities. They are a good idea, and if Mr Shearer believes in change, maybe he can come with me. Maybe he can come with me as he supports charter schools, if he supports change, if he supports opportunities for poor kids in parts of New Zealand. Let's go together with a big New Zealand corporation. Let's put in $500,000. Let's let them hire the best principal around the country, can hire the best teachers around the country, and let's see whether those kids perform. Because I'll tell you what makes a difference. The best principals and the best teachers in front of those kids are the thing that's going to make a difference. And if we want to make a difference to those kids in underperforming areas, let's give them the best teachers and the best principals. But I'll bet you this, David Shearer won't come out and support that change. Because it's cosmetic change, it's veneer thin, but when you cut below the surface, it's just Phil Goff and David Cunliffe and David Parker writing the same old speech. Mr Speaker, let me just finish with these comments. That 2011 has been a pretty challenging year for New Zealand, and I know that this House would want to extend, well, the joke is the Labour Party actually in the way that you were doing things, but we'll leave that to you. So, Mr Speaker, 2011 has been a very challenging year for New Zealand. And what is going to happen, Mr Speaker, I think in 2011 is all of us will reflect on the challenges that a lot of families in New Zealand have faced, and they have faced some significant challenges. But what I think we can say is we are all very proud of the way that our fellow New Zealanders have responded to those challenges. Whether it's the Christchurch earthquakes, whether it's been other situations like the arena, New Zealanders across the country have come out and supported their communities, supported one another, and I, for one, am very proud of the way that New Zealanders have extended their hand of friendship or whatever it may have been or required to make New Zealand a better place. We will have a huge number of challenges in front of us in 2012, but this government is committed to making those changes, to making New Zealand a stronger country, to ensuring that we as a nation do better and that we are not only ambitious but successful. If the Labour Party wants to work with us on those changes, on the things that really make a difference, then it's going to be a very interesting 2012. But I suspect from the speech from Mr Shearer, there won't be a lot of support coming for the very good ideas that are coming out of the National Government.
Dr. Russell Norman.